Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We now start with a story coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. In the last 3 days, several suspicious transactions by dubious professionals in Trinidad have been unearthed in the banking sector as thousands of customers continue to rush financial institutions to exchange their existing $100 bill for the new 100 polymer notes. One suspicious activity involved a barber who walked into a bank with $1 million in paper-based $100 bills to be swapped for the new $100 notes, which the public began accessing at banks on Tuesday. The old $100 notes will become invalid on December 31. The changeover from paper to polymer is the basis of government's latest anti-crime plan to flush out criminal elements, cut off funding of gangs, and take the profit out of crime. The revelation came from National Security Minister Stuart Young and Finance Minister Colm Imbert at yesterday's post-cabinet media briefing at Diplomatic Center St. Anne's. Imbert was the first to talk about the suspicious activities, stating that he received reports yesterday that some customers had been visiting banks with large quantities of cash. Imbert said some of these individuals are finding it difficult to fill out a source of funds declaration form to indicate where they got the money from. If someone walked into a bank with $1 million in cash and claimed it was theirs saving over the years, Imbert said it can prove to be a challenge. In cases like that, Imbert said that customers would be advised to go to the central bank to have their money exchanged or to get some consideration for the notes. Young could not say how many transactions were flagged since banks began exchanging the old for the new notes. He also revealed that there were instances of banks picking up counterfeit $100 bills. Young reminded the population that money laundering was a criminal offense and anyone who facilitated money laundering can also be charged. And still in Trinidad and Tobago, it is 2 weeks before Christmas, and the people living in flood-ravaged South Trinidad are facing a financial disaster. Areas in Penal, Debbie, and Barakpur were underwater yesterday with roads impassable and houses flooded. Families were stranded in their homes for almost 2 days, helpless as appliances and furniture washed away. Primary and secondary schools were closed. The flood water began rising on Wednesday afternoon, causing rivers to overflow and water to spread into the floodplains of Godina River in South Oropochi Lagoon. On Thursday morning, the Debe main road was impassable, as was Suchet Trace, Transfer Village, Diggity Village, Clark Road, Rochard Road, Sign Village, Woodland, and San Francisco. The area around the Power Again facility in Penal was also flooded, along with the Lacus Road and Goodman Trace. And finally, in tonight's regional news, we turn to a story from Jamaica. In August, Latoya Hogarth, 28, had a brain aneurysm. She claimed that doctors declared that her situation was unfixable and gave her 3 days to live. However, 4 months later, the Lilliput St. James resident is alive and well, drowning in medical bills. A brain aneurysm refers to a bulge in the blood vessel in the brain. If the vessel ruptures, the patient could die. Despite the diagnosis, Hogarth said that her sister Audra was not prepared to give up on her. Her older sister, Audra, said that she could not accept what the doctors had said. She was adamant that there was more that could be done to save her sister, who was training to become a customer service agent. Hogarth had an emergency surgery on August 27. Since then, the 28-year-old has been recovering. She feels pain whenever someone touches her head, and she has been having trouble recollecting the last 3 months of her life. She's also drowning in expenses as she still owes for the medical procedures. And that was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.